Hey, it's Lynn Brown. Welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast, episode 104. I'm a results coach. And I guess another way to say it is like I'm a recovered people pleaser and a former world-class warrior. I literally was trapped by the opinions of other people. For the first half of my life. And then one day I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't know if any of you are there or have ever been there, but I drew a line in the sand and I've never looked back. Now notice I did not say my life was perfect, because it's not perfect. So if you're looking for the Perfect People podcast, this is probably not the one for you. Well, good. I'm glad you're still here. Today, I just wanted to talk to you just a little bit about the reality of what it takes to get from where you are right now to where you want to be. It seems like over the last probably 18 months, I've talked to more and more people who are a little frustrated. They're just in this transition. They're not here, they're not there, and they don't really know how to get to either place. So I want us to just stay there, just lean into that for a little minute. So obviously in America, we just celebrated the 4th of July. Let freedom ring. Fireworks. The whole 9 yards. It was great. But I think this year, now more than ever, I've really been pondering this idea of freedom. And I think freedom is one of those words that we hear so much. I'll speak for myself. I hear it so much. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that means. I know what it means for me. I know what it means for other people. And in all honesty, it's just becoming evident in my life that there's some things that I need to continue to work on being freed from. Like, what has to happen in order to be free from worry or free from comparison or shame or obsessive shopping or binging on chocolate chip cookie dough or limiting beliefs or fear of living an authentic life, of being real with people. So many of us, and I know I've also recovered in this area, but I used to wear this huge mask, literally, for years and years and years because I was so afraid that people would really see the real me. I probably was afraid I'd see the real me too. You've probably heard this before. You've seen the quotes, burn the ships or leave the shore. I like burn the ships just because, once you leave the shore and there's no plan B to return, so the ships are burned. You leave the shore and the ships are burned, and so there's no possible way to return to the shore. There's nothing there. There's only one way out, and the only way out is through. So I think that adopting this mindset of a newcomer or a settler would be helpful here. We have heard stories through the years of individuals, and families and groups of people who've left everything behind. Have just sold everything and climbed aboard boats and climbed aboard homemade rafts. I've seen some rafts of families and individuals that have gotten on to cross the ocean. That, y'all, I'm just going to be honest with you. I just don't know that I could do it. Maybe I could do it by myself, but I don't know if I could put my children on a raft like that. I would like to think that I could. But they've endured treacherous conditions, life-threatening conditions, and so many of them never made it, but so many did. They did all of this to arrive to the new land, wherever that land was. And then once they got there, that's when the real work began. It wasn't like they were on a cruise line and headed home, back home to the comforts of their home. When they landed and that cruise was over, they hit the ground. They had no friends, no family, no money, no home. They hit the street. And they made it. A lot of them made it. I'm not saying they all did, but a lot of them made it. So let's just think into this mindset of a newcomer, this mindset of an outlander, the mindset of an immigrant, if you will. Just the mindset of somebody that is willing to give up everything that they know and move to a new land to begin again. That's a heck of a dang mission statement. That's a heck of a value. That's a heck of a dream that you have in your heart, to be willing to put everything you have on a little made raft or a little boat. But isn't it interesting? Those people, they didn't wait for the perfect plan. They didn't wait for the perfect computer program or the perfect funnel or the perfect, outfit or the perfect time of year. They climbed aboard the boat or the raft and they left it all behind. And yes, they left their physical, homes or whatever it was that they left behind. A lot of times their families. I just talked to a young woman the other day who left her family to escape violence. But they also left their limited beliefs. They left the bogus stories that they were where they were because of the circumstances, that they could not change their lives. They left that all behind too. And they said no. They threw it down. They drew the line in the sand too. And they were willing to risk everything. And y'all, I'll be honest with you. There's some days I'll talk myself out of picking up the phone to pick somebody to call them, to tell them about a product that I'm on right now, Mitoprom, that has changed my sleep habits, that's lowered my cholesterol and my blood pressure. And I can think of a reason not to even pick up the phone when I'm sitting in the air condition. I mean, I hate to be that honest, but that's just the reality. Y'all, this takes guts. And I know y'all are gritty. Y'all are gritty girls. You're gritty women. But y'all, this takes being a gritty woman to a whole new level. And that's why I'm so intrigued with this idea of this newcomer, this outlander, this immigrant mindset. Okay, now, just to rest assured, just know this. There's not going to be a 30-day challenge for you to give up everything and move to a foreign land. But I think you would all agree, if you've ever heard a podcast, in order to get a new result, we're going to have to do something different. Right? Y'all with me? Just making sure y'all are still listening. Entrepreneurs, if you're in business for yourself, if you're dreaming about a business, if you're thinking about it, or if you've just started one, or maybe one of yours is maybe you just gone out of business. But we have to suspend the need to see the whole picture. Honestly, you could take entrepreneurs out of that and put parenting. We have to suspend the need to see the whole picture. There are no guarantees here. But every day, we got to be the best versions of ourselves so that those around us will also do the same. It's not an outside-in deal. It's an inside-out deal. So I want you to think with me for a minute. Just let's reflect back on some past experiences. We've all had models of success in our past. And some of you are sitting there thinking, oh, you don't know me. You don't know my life. My life is just, a sum of all the failures I've ever made. And I call bogus story on that. I call BS on that, which is bogus story. This is a family show. But I want you to think about it. Maybe it was second grade, it was a spelling bee, and you won. Maybe you entered a cooking contest. Maybe you won a bike race. Maybe you won the Tiddlywinks playoff at your school or church. I don't know what you did. But there are learning models that you can use right now. I want you to just glean the resources. Just dig the gold out of those experiences. Here's a story, and it was a tragic story, but it brought a community together. It's been over 20 years ago. There was a young mother in our community who was killed in a car accident, and all we knew was that we wanted to help this family. So we pulled our resources together, which is something, if you are a place where you can write something down, be resourceful. We have to be resourceful. So we put our heads together and we became resourceful, and we asked for donations, and somehow we pulled off a huge silent auction, a huge fish fry and on the courthouse lawn, and we raised $10,000 for this family. And that had never been done in a day like that in our small town. So that was a big deal. Well, fast forward a couple years ago, there was another young woman who was severely injured in a car wreck. And I realized, I was like, you know what? We've done this before. We have done this before. We did this years ago when Adrian was killed. And so now we could tap into that model and we could apply it to Jessica's life. And we did. And not only did we apply that model to her life, but we doubled it. And we raised $20,000 in one day. So we have to be resourceful. And I recommend to you, to your mission, your vision, and your why, that whatever it is, you got to see with such clarity here. You can't have a fuzzy target because you'll miss it every time. Right now, just one area of my life, we all have about 7 different spheres of our life on a wheel. If you can just imagine a wheel of life, and one of those little pie pieces, I guess I shouldn't use the word pie piece as an example, but is on my health journey. And you got to know, if you're going to change your lifestyle and change your health, you got to know why. It's not just so you'll be beach body ready. It's not that. It's not just so that you'll, be able to wear your skinny jeans. It's not for that. That reason, that why has to be so compelling that there is nothing that will stop you. And mine was personally waking up in ICU and meeting my cardiologist after I had a heart attack. That was pretty, talking about an awakening. I was awakened by him, but I was awakened on the inside too. But I have this dream, I have this desire to live to see my great, great, great grandchildren. And I believe with all my heart that I will. So when we are resourceful, and we tap into what we know, and the successes that we have already seen, and we leave everything behind, then and only then will we be able to give more. It's what we're here for. The more I become, the more I can do, the more I can have, and the more I can give. And if you're wondering, it doesn't really matter what the it is. Maybe you want to be a nicer person. Maybe it's just that simple. Maybe you want more joy in your life. Maybe you want to be a healthier person, a wealthier person. By the way, I want to be healthier and wealthier because, trust me, I have no problem with wealth. I loved Jesus with my whole heart. And I know that I can serve him more when I have some money. I don't want to just buy Happy Meals for people. I want to buy happy homes for people. Maybe you want to develop a bulletproof mindset. And I personally can help you with that because I have done extensive work over the last 7 years. And trust me, I've invested a lot of money in order to be able to break through some of those limiting beliefs. But here's the truth. I believe in you. And I know if I can, anybody can. So today's the day. I want you to climb in the boat with me. I'm in the boat. Burn the boats left behind you. Everything really happens in the deep water. Because it doesn't even matter. When you're in over your head, it really doesn't even matter how the deep water is anymore. So stop worrying about touching the water with your toe and getting used to it and wading out in the shallow end. Forget it. Jump in the deep. Necessity is the mother of invention. So when you burn the ships, you leave no other option for yourself in context to the achievement. You're more than a conqueror. Says my favorite book always. You are more than a conqueror. I want you to put your name in that sentence. Like I would say, Lynn, you are more than a conqueror. So just put your name in there and begin to believe that. It's so easy to retreat and fail when you have the option to do so. Oh, I'll just start over again next week or whatever the thing is. Oh, that's okay. I've got another one. I want you to choose courage over comfort. I was going to say confidence. That too. Courage. Courage is just being scared and doing it anyway. That's what gritty women do. Choose to rise to the occasion rather than sinking into your insecurities. In walks tenacity. We have got to be filled with tenacity. Maybe you want to burn a career. that no longer serves you, or crappy eating habits, or toxic relationships. Maybe you want to burn comparison or people pleasing like I had to do. So let me leave you with this question. What is the one area that you're ready to have a boat burning? Burn the barge. Y'all, freedom comes from the sacrifice. You got this, Gray Girl. I know you do. I believe in you. I believe in the power of your dream. So remember, gritty is the new strong. You got this. You can do it. Burn the boat. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.